Just crossed the lane that we used to cross every day to reach this school, and this was our first government school where we started working. And you see, this is a government Urdu model primary school that gave enough language advantage to both Santosh and I, because we don't speak Kannada. And second, this school has a weekly off on Friday. So Sunday was an additional day that we used to get, and we used to come here. This was our first cluster resource center that we set up. That was the first ideation of what it could look like. Now there are so many cluster resource centers in an एकल block. जो भी हम स्कूल में कर पाए, इस कम्युनिटी में कुछ भी अपने आप का अपना काम कर पाए, सब जिया भाई की मेहरबानी है, क्योंकि इतने एक्टिव, इतने इन्फ्लुएंशियल कम्युनिटी लीडर हैं जिया भाई.
अब दूसरे गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में देख लीजिए, यहाँ पे भी देख लीजिए, लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट है. वो डिफरेंट कैसा आया? इन लोगों की वजह से.
Old Florida school where we used to come.
Santosh and I both come from Bihar, and for a kid growing up in 90s in Bihar, I think there were so many things that we did not take for granted, or that was not normal for us. And it was very fortunate that both our parents did believe in the power of education, and they did whatever was possible in their capacity. And things happened, and finally we landed up in Bangalore. That was a very interesting moment in our life, because we started comparing. Oh, children here have so many more opportunities, so many more avenues to explore what else can they do in life.
So we started with foster home. So our jobs were there, my school was there, and foster home was there.
When I met Khushbu and Santosh, they were trying to look for some small fund, and I said, you have choice. I can either give you, you're asking for 25,000 rupees, I can give you 25,000 rupees and we're done with this. Or why don't you come back to me with a plan that is 10 times of what you are planning to do now. They thankfully chose the second option. And I said, this is an interesting plan, but why don't you come back with another 10x plan? And so they went back, and we did this a few times, and rest is history.
So that was the change in our life. Our entire trajectory changed after that.
9 years back, I met them in our living room in Jayanagar.
So at that time, they were working with 3 schools and focused on school transformation. The fact that they were bringing in all the stakeholders together, and the fact that they were already on their way with a number of schools, I think that really gave us a lot of confidence.
We were awestruck, meeting Shibu in his house and meeting him for the first time, talking about. See, I was from Infosys, right? I worked for 2.5, 3 years. These people, we would always, Sanjay Purohit, Mr. Shibulal, Narayan Murthy, all these people we'll see only on the websites. Now we are meeting Shibulal for the first time. He asked us, how do you raise funds? We told, sir, cycling marathon kiya hai. And we also did, last time we also did half marathon where we both ran. He told, bhag kar aur cycle chala kar kab tak kaam chalega.
And I think in terms of our organizational milestones, that was again a very, very huge moment, that somebody like Shibu sir and Kumari ma'am have invested in us and our idea.
So one of the important discussion that we were having in 2017 with Shibu sir and Sanjay sir was, and I still remember when Sanjay sir asked, now do you want to grow Mantra or do you want to scale the impact of Mantra? And after a week, we again told that it would be good to think of a model through which we can scale the impact of Mantra.
But I definitely at that point believed that they had a bouquet of very crucial learnings through that journey that they had. And if they could share it with partners across India, it's the best way to scale the idea, because it's very hard for you to reach out into every state.
I think our first big tryst with scale began with our work in Punjab. we were already working with schools level, we were working at a cluster level, we had started working with Anekal as an education block, and by then our understanding of the public education system had seriously improved, and we said a lot of execution power sits with the state. So how does one really go about working with the state education system, and then we drive change by working with the system, by co-creating the whole program with them. And fortunately for us, through Edumentum, we already had 2 of our wonderful partners that were ready to work in Punjab as a geography.
And the conversation with the secretary, we talked about what Mantra does and everything. And he said, I'll give you 2 weeks. If you can explore my system and understand everything, you are open to work over here. And we spent time going into people, meeting one after the other. And after the end of the 2 weeks, we went to the secretary, and the secretary came and he said, I have 30 minutes for you. And I don't know whether you believe in this, he spent more than 2-3 hours with us.
And I think internally it was so much of confidence building element for us, saying that, we can actually do it as a team. We can pull this off. We have really understood this recipe, and why not then go back to the state where we come from, because ultimately the journey of Mantra, the whole seed of this idea that we should work in education started because of our personal experiences. We met the secretary there in Bihar. He liked what we said, he liked the passion that we were carrying with us, and the fact that we really wanted to give back to the state where we come from and really contribute to the betterment of education system there in the state. We have come a full circle where we have now really started working with the Department of School Education in Bihar, and that is such a satisfying experience, such a gratifying experience for us.
So the School Transformation and Empowerment Project STEP, I think, has been a homecoming for me and a lot of us. Like one of my professors had said in APU, is that in the whole education system there is only one thing that's concrete, and that's the school. And I think now where we are today, it's really heartwarming, because now everybody in the team is talking back to, irrespective of whether we work at the state level in Punjab or civil society organization level in Edumentum or research and design level in Kola, we are all talking about, yes, we're doing all of this, how does that impact the school at the end of the day?
And again, thanks to the team, I think in the process we have become a 75-member organization, which, from a point where nobody sat through our placement call to today, when people really look forward to apply to Mantra as a brand and they want to contribute to our mission as a team member. It has been a phenomenal journey.
What's amazing about Mantra, that I think is amazing about Mantra, is that it's very, very difficult to create a JD here. So if someone's applying for a role, most probably they'll ask you, the question will be, describe your JD. So it's never informed or never said that this is what you need to do.
There are more people who are championing the culture than 1 or 2 founders. Particular policies and structures have definitely changed, but I think this underlying principle of how do we enable each other to do the best work while we challenge ourselves but also give space and autonomy to teams, I think is something that has stayed consistent.
2 very important lessons that we had throughout this. One, we need to create more leaders.
Absolutely.
Until we have internal leadership capability within the organization, we can't work with so many states, we can't work with so many geographies. If Saurav wasn't there, if Rucha wasn't there, if a lot of these people weren't there in our team, we could never have thought about working with these different geographies. Second important thing, which Sanjay sir always used to say, is Mantra is an idea.
Gandhiji said, miracles happen when people believe and come together.
Something that's very close to my heart is exactly what Khushbu mentioned while receiving the award, was like every student in this country has a right to good education, and how can we enable it? It's not easy, it's not standard.
So as Mantra, as an organization, today we are at a really good point in our journey. We are working in these 5 states with so many schools with an impact potential of more than 25 million children in the country. I think our next mission would be we always knew the journey to our mission is going to be long. It is a marathon and not a sprint. Thank you so much for being with us on this journey. I really hope that our next 10 years are going to be even more exciting.